Donald Trump's regime is just picking up pace in sending out federal army to the states. This is happening right now, and Judge Karine Immergut is going through this process of asking the government, the federal government, what the justification is for the federal government to circumvent the court's order in a temporary restraining order in deploying the Oregon National Guard. So to circumvent that order, Pete Hegseth deployed the Texas National Guard and said that they were being federalized to go into places like Chicago and Portland. So that is happening right now. We are in October, and I wanted to talk about the October surprise yesterday, and I was thinking about it, and today we're seeing this ramp up and this development of Donald Trump's regime and Pete Hegseth militarizing other state National Guards to go into states where those states of the guards of those states have been stopped by federal court orders. And now to circumvent that, Donald Trump is sending guards from other states like Texas to Illinois and Oregon. And it's essentially sending the federal army to Chicago and Portland. Federalized guard from one state being sent to another. So any law enforcement function that they perform will be violation of the Posse Comitatus Act as interpreted by the judge in California. And because I don't see Donald Trump employing any other different methods than he did in California. And by federalizing a different state's troops to go into another state, you're actually strengthening the Posse Comitatus argument, because those National Guardsmen from Texas going into Oregon and going into Illinois is the same thing as the federal army going into Illinois and Oregon. So what I think is that I believe there will be a groundswell of protest in America. As the shutdown continues and layoffs kick in, we'll see more public outrage and social unrest. The No Kings protest of October 18th will give Donald a chance to try out his Antifa memorandum, where he says effectively that anybody who is anti-fascist is a potential domestic terrorist, and they're going to find organizations and conspiracies where none exist, because Antifa is an ideology and not a definitely not a governmental entity, and definitely not an organization. So, and the memorandum pretty much outlines and quotes anti-fascism as being the villain that the government is going after. One court has already denied that line of reasoning, but Donald Trump will deploy federal troops wherever there are protests. We may see massive protests before October 18th. I just pray that they remain peaceful. Unemployment will go through the roof with government jobs going away and more layoffs because of the shutdown. Inflation is already going up, and so is the cost of living, while the job market has cooled. That doesn't bode well for the recently fired and laid off federal workers who are who need jobs now. There may be union strikes. More federal workers may walk off their jobs. All the while, the police state expands. Antifa memorandum will be used to detain anybody and disappear them. Right to counsel is being deprived. Due process is being deprived. Unreasonable search and seizures are ongoing throughout the country. At some point, the bottom will give out and people will flood the streets. People will die for lack of health care. People will die because of ICE, DHS assaults and attacks. One person already died in Illinois because of it. People will be injured in these clashes if they happen. Remember, there are agitators in these crowds who are calling themselves MAGA auxiliaries. That Donald Trump's regime may even say, yeah, they are part of our group. They will provoke violence. Don't take the bait. Remember to charge your phones, take drinking water, take extra water for tear gas and other chemical agents being sprayed by DHS and ICE. Go with friends if you're going out to protest. Don't provoke DHS or ICE. Do not touch them under any circumstances in any way. Always protest on public property and always do it peacefully. You can be loud, but don't touch. If the DHS ICE agents still assault you like they're doing now, call the local police, record everything that they're doing. If you are being arrested, that's why I say I always go with people who can record what's happening and who can get lawyers for you so you can be bailed out as soon as possible. I think, in my opinion, the guard deployments are a distraction from the abuses of ICE and DHS that the guard is protecting or restricting access to. At some point, Donald won't need the guard, but he may continue to deploy it to keep breaking the law in different jurisdictions by providing cover to DHS while they break the law and violate people's constitutional rights. So while on one side performing law enforcement action and violating the Posse Comitatus Act, or if they go in to influence local and state authorities by the federal force and is somehow successful, that's anti-commandeering, and states have that power of the federal government encroaching and violating the 10th Amendment. And those are ways for the states to stop, on one side, the government's police state encroachment, and on the other side, there's the ICE and DHS constitutional violations of the people who they're arresting and detaining, some of them U.S. citizens, and disappearing them without due process of law. So keep an eye out for what happens. I don't know how the Judge Immergret, is going to rule right now, or whether she is going to rule right now. I'll go back and check. I hope that she orders the same restraining order for any federalized troops to go into other states, because it is, by sending in National Guard from the other state, it's effectively sending in a federal army, because you're not following the statute 10 U.S.C. 12406 that you are invoking, because that refers to National Guard deploying within the states and the order going through the governor. And so this is where we are as a country, and I wanted to loudly and quickly tell you what I think is going to happen in the coming few days and weeks. And I want you to be aware, I want you to be vigilant, I want you to record everything if you're going out to protest. If you're not, please support your local food kitchens, phone bank for local elections. Going out to physically protest is not the only way to protest. Do it on social media. Speak out on social media like I am. People make fun of me. Oh, you only have this many views and this many likes. And if I were to be looking for likes and viewerships, then I would have stopped doing this years ago. I'm still here because I feel the duty to warn and the duty to inform my fellow American. And as Professor Heather Cox Richardson says, do you know how many people it takes to make a difference, to go out there and do something and have it make a difference? Just one. And to that extent, I have been reaching out to at least one of you every single time that I talk. And I think that's very much worth it. And that engagement is very much worth it. I welcome it. I'm grateful for it. So thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Pass on the message, and I'll talk to you soon.